Hello, everybody. Today we're going to have kind of a chilled, laid back video where we discuss some more broader ideas and specifically the idea of you got to catch them all, right? Because this is basically what the entire Pokemon franchise is based on is this concept that you have to catch them all. And we're going to kind of dig deep and mine into that idea, kind of apply it to the world around us and how this theme isn't present in just Pokemon, it's life in general. And how in my life, most importantly, I really try to stay away from that stuff. Um, it's why you don't really see me getting too riled up when people are like flaming the comment sections in the videos on my channel, or if I'm in like one of Mason's videos and people are like coming at me in the comment sections. I think that stuff's pretty funny. Um, Internet trolling and bullying is kind of funny to me. So you're not going to see me get too riled up. It's also why you might actually see me in somebody's comment section being like, "Hey, you're cool. Do you want a free ETB? If you send me your email, your mailing address, I'll mail you a free ETB." And I think some people might read that and be like, "Dude, what's Clay doing? Why is why is he in somebody's comment section trying to give them a free ETB? That's kind of creepy." And I understand how it could be interpreted that way, but it's not, I'm not trying to be creepy. It's just that like I have a lot of stuff. I have really at this point in my life more money than I need. I have more ETBs than I need, and I don't feel the need to catch them all. Do you see how like this applies to like life in general? I have no problem giving away ETBs if somebody wants an ETB. I mean, I'm not going to give away all my ETBs. Obviously, I can't just give away all my stuff until the business closes, but I make enough money on enough products that I don't need all the money in the world. It's okay. I'm okay with giving some stuff away. And if there's like a comment that I read in like Mason's channel or in somebody else's channel that I connect with and I read that person's comment, I'm like, "Oh, that person is cool." Like, or that person gets it, or I think that person's funny, then I'll be like, "Hey," I'll reach out to them and be like, "Hey, you seem cool. You want an ETB?" Um, but I guess more broadly, like it kind of ties into this idea of life being short. But I guess we'll get to that in a few minutes. Specifically, like you got to catch them all is a kind of an innocuous phrase in and of itself in the world of Pokemon. It just means that Ash Ketchum, the main character of Pokemon, his prerogative in life was to travel around. Um, I don't remember I guess it was the Kanto region, at least when I was playing it, and catch all 150, 151. Was it 152 with missing? No, it might have been 152, but he had to catch all the Pokemon, and that was his prerogative, and that was where the phrase comes from. You got to catch them all. But when you kind of start to extrapolate it and kind of like apply it to the world around you and the Pokemon franchise in general, you could start to see it getting a little bit more shady, a little bit more dubious. The idea of, okay, you got to catch them all. You got to catch all the Pokemon cards through all the different sets and all the different shinies and variants. And it's like, okay, well, now we're getting a little bit off the rails here. Now we're getting a little bit goofy. Or in the world as a whole, you got to catch them all is just kind of like the battle cry of the modern world, where you got to catch all the money. You got to catch all the likes. You got to catch all the views, the subscriptions, the social media shares. Um, and that's not super important to me. And I know there's other creators that I talk to on the various platforms that it's not as important as you might imagine to them either. That, you know, some of us do YouTube videos as just a way to create something, to be a part of the conversation. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm not trying to farm, subscriptions. I'm not trying to farm shares or likes. It's just, like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I've met a lot of cool people. There's a lot of cool people in my comment section along the way, and that's enough for me. That's enough. But life is short, and trying to catch them all, or catch all the money, catch all the likes, catch all the social media credibility, it's not going to work. You're going to fall short. I'm going to fall short if I try to pursue that goal too. It's unrealistic, and it gets you on like this hamster wheel of like never ending stress and being tired and being worn out. The idea that life is short was really driven home for me. It's not the first time, but it is the most recent time that this idea was driven home for me about 2 years ago when my brother died. I don't know if anybody's still watching this late in a rambling video, so maybe nobody will get this far in the videos. But yeah, my brother died about two or so years ago. I actually his picture is actually right here, right behind that lamp right there. Um, and it's kind of one of those wake up calls where it's like, man, life is short. You got to pay attention to what really matters. And it's trite. It's an obvious observation, but sometimes it takes major catastrophes in life, big events to snap you out of whatever haze you're walking around in. Um, you know, you I've been in those places in my life where I'm playing World of Warcraft for 10 friggin' hours a day, or I'm playing Halo 2 or Call of Duty, or I'm working on a business and I'm sinking every ounce of energy and emotional chi into establishing that business and nurturing it and growing it. And my kids are growing up, you know, somewhere else, and I'm not spending as much time with them as I should be. Or life is happening around me. People are moving, things are happening, and I have my blinders on, and everything is so focused on one thing that everything else is, it's not enough attention is being paid to it. So that's where I get back to the you got to catch them all sentiment. And in my life, more often than not, when I get into that you got to catch them all mentality, I stop paying attention to everything else. If I start focusing on I got to catch them all by I got to build this YouTube channel, so I got to make all the videos and catch all the subscribers, then areas of one of my businesses might start to slip. Um, you got to catch them all. I'm trying to build up my card business really aggressively. I'm trying to, find as much opportunity and really, forge ahead as fast as I can in that business. While, my kids, I could be spending an extra hour or 2 hours a day with them, and I'm not because I'm doing, you know, doing the card business or one of my various other businesses. Now, I'm usually pretty attentive to when I get into these zones, and I try really hard to snap out of it as fast as possible. And my kids, they're so great because they'll forgive anything. Man, kids are so innocent and so sweet and so charming. They'll forgive anything. So you have to be careful about not taking advantage of this. And I don't know if you have kids or, if anybody who watches my channel has kids, but as a father, I have to pay extra careful attention that I don't take advantage of this idea that they're so sweet and they're so attentive and I can just walk away whenever I want to. And, they're just kids. They don't really have a choice. They can't just say, no, you get back here. Dad, you're not being a good dad today. They just say, okay, daddy, I love you. I'll see you later. You know, trying to catch them all in my life has, I don't want to say led to failure, but it has led to ruts and it has led to extended periods of time where I've sunken too much energy into one specific focus and let other opportunities pass me by. Trying to catch them all has meant sinking time and energy into raiding and war in World of Warcraft to get gear when I could have been finishing college, starting other businesses earlier in life. I don't want to say meeting women because I always I had a decent amount of success throughout life meeting women, even weighing 320 pounds, believe it or not. I don't know. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I always had a fair amount of success. But it has led to putting the blinders on and not really seeing the forest through the trees, and that life is short. Um, and people and relationships are really important. I talk about my brother. My brother, we're at such a late point in the video now. I guess I could start spilling my guts. There's probably not too many people still around. My brother was adopted when I was born. He was about 8. He was severely mentally R-worded, and remember, this is back in a time when being an R was a medical term, and he was severely autistic. And this isn't autistic in the sense of like sitting around playing World of Warcraft for 12 hours a day. This is autistic in the sense of being a grown man with the intellectual capacity of a 4-year old. And so my life with my brother and the stuff that we went through, there was a lot of struggles. There was a lot of challenges. I tell people about my brother sometime, in social interactions or back when he was still alive, we'd talk about him, and people would always hit me with the, "Oh, that's so sweet." And, "Oh, aren't you just a saint taking care of your brother?" And I get where they're coming from, but I think what's lost on a lot of people is the never ending challenges that come with uh, being the brother of somebody like that. And in many ways, it was a blessing. He forced me to grow as a person and really understand a lot of things that I wouldn't have understood without him in my life. And I miss him very much. But just like when he was alive, in his passing, he taught me something very valuable, and that was you can't catch them all. You have to sometimes prioritize things. You have to take stock in life. You have to figure out what is important, what needs the most amount of attention and energy, and what doesn't. And great, you have all these businesses, you have all this money. Why? Why do you have all these businesses? Why do you have all this money? Is it to provide a better life for your daughters? Well, that's then do that. Do that by spending time with your daughters. And I'm talking to myself here, by the way. I'm not necessarily talking to you. Maybe I am talking to you, but I'm especially talking to myself. I've had to tell myself, if you're doing all this stuff for the benefit of your kids, then follow through on that. Get out there and play with the kids. Get out there, spend some time with the kids. Don't just keep trying to hype and run this business and feed this growing machine. Take some time and actually do what the goal is, what the purpose is. Uh, so I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a rant video, this kind of this dive into this idea of you got to catch them all. It's just something that was on my mind. My brother, he does come up on my mind every now and then, and it's been a few years now, so it's still kind of it's sad, but you kind of learn how to cope with these things and you grow as a person. Let me know how you feel in the video in the comment section down below. Do you get in these scenarios where you feel like you got to catch them all? What about in Pokemon and collecting? And even even specifically, if you want to talk about in Pokemon and collecting, the idea of you got to catch them all, a lot of the times is not really. I mean, if you're a collector, then that's fine. But if you're an investor, this idea is not conducive to being an investor. Investors are looking for investment opportunities, looking for things that are undervalued in the market. And this shotgun approach of you got to catch them all, of course, you're going to drag the net and sweep up things that are undervalued, but you're also going to drag the net and catch a lot of garbage in the process too. So, really, anywhere outside of the Pokemon world, the animated world, trying to apply you got to catch them all to real life is a losing proposition. So let me know how you feel. I mean, do you get in the same kind of ruts that I do, where you get in this like I gotta catch them all zone? You put the blinders on, and then you're trying to like go for something in a video game, or you're trying to grow a business or do something, and then you just let the rest of the world start slipping away and passing you by. And 6 months later, you snap out of it, and you're like, "Oh, what was I doing? What was I doing?" Thanks for watching. As always, I'll catch you later.